Imagine a bomb sleeping for 10,000 years. Then it detonates. Ash shot higher than your holiday plane can fly. Scientists were blind. No one saw this monster coming. How did a sleeping giant sneak up on us? The clock starts now. November 23rd, 2025, 8:30 in the morning. The silence broke. Haley Gooby erupted. First time in 10,000 years. The earth literally jumped. Animals ran for their lives. Houses shook apart. Then the lights went out. Ash blocked the sun instantly. The air tasted like rotten eggs and death. That scenery became a killer. The ground cracked open. Molten rock hissed. Ash rained down like concrete. Sensors went off the charts. Energy surges like never seen before. Satellites saw the blast, but down on the ground, zero warning. The sky turned into a choking dust bowl. Reality hit hard. The monster was back, and it was rewriting history. Ash hit 14 kilometers high. That is 45,000 feet up. It smashed into the stratosphere. Winds there are fast and dangerous. Tiny glass shards flew across the world. Borders could not stop them. From space, it looked like a massive anvil. Pure vertical power. This rivals the biggest explosions we have seen in decades. Debris travels thousands of kilometers up there. Gravity waits for no one. At 45,000 feet, it targeted major flight paths. That ash hangs there for weeks, disrupting everything. Pilots face an invisible enemy. Turbulence is the least of their worries. Ash melts inside engines. It destroys sensors. Planes drop. Africa's skies became a death trap within hours. High winds pushed that poison east, fast. By noon, it hit Yemen. Controllers in Dubai scrambled maps frantically. Radar screens lit up red, a moving wall of destruction. It moved faster than planes could divert. Alerts started pulsing. Warnings screamed through the networks. Danger overhead. It hovered right over the busiest routes. Africa to Asia blocked. One day, that is all it took. Yemen airspace shut down. Controllers sweated every decision. Lives hung in the balance. This nightmare spread globally. Flight rules vanished overnight. Pilots over Sudan screamed warnings over the radio. Cockpits flashed red. Mumbai shut down all crossings immediately. Casa and Indigo grounded everything. No international flights out. Dispatchers begged crews to turn back, avoid the path. Boards in Delhi went blank. Cancelled. Panic at the desks. Families stranded. No way home. Captains read emergency checklists, praying against engine failure. Airlines lost millions every hour, but they feared a crash more. Crews smelled metal in the cabin. That is the smell of danger. Mechanics found the damage. Thin layers of glass on engine blades. The world's travel arteries clogged instantly. A silent killer awoke. Jet engines are tough, but volcanic ash, that is a death sentence. Volcanic ash isn't just dust, it is jagged, microscopic glass. Sucked into engines, it acts like sandpaper on turbine blades. It gets worse. Ash blinds sensors and clogs vital air tubes. It even scrambles the electronics, keeping the plane airborne. But the real nightmare starts in the heart of the engine. Inside, temperatures hit 1100 degrees Celsius. Ash melts instantly, fusing into a sticky glass glaze on the blades. That glass chokes airflow and throws moving parts off balance. The engine stalls. Then it fails completely. Molten ash blocks cooling vents, cooking the engine from the inside. Metal components overheat and warp under the stress. One cloud can ground a jet for weeks of expensive repairs. In the air, seconds of exposure can shut down all engines. We know the mechanics, but volcanoes don't give warnings. When Haley Gooby erupted, every plane nearby faced immediate death. Ash fell silently, burying rooftops and village paths in gray. It was a relentless, quiet suffocation. By noon, the sun was just a pale ghost behind the haze. Day turned to toxic twilight. Kids peered out, eyes burning and watering from the sulfur. Laughter and prayer calls vanished. The ash swallowed every sound, leaving a terrifying silence. Crystal clear wells turned into sludge. One sip tasted like bitter poison and left grit on your tongue. Mothers lined up at the pump, praying for clean water. It never came. Crops suffocated under the gray weight. Every breath felt heavy, tightening chests and threatening lungs. Elders begged kids to stay inside, but the deadly dust crept through every crack. By nightfall, ash coated beds, food, and skin. The world went silent and dangerous. Neighbors huddled in the dark, whispering fears. Muhammad Idris woke up to the sound of dying animals. His cattle pressed against the fence, eyes bloodshot. They were begging for help. By morning, green pastures were gone. Just a thick gray mat of death remained. Idris offered food, but they wouldn't eat. They just stood there, heaving for air. Even tough camels refused the sulfur-coated grass. Then the baby goat started wheezing. His 5-year-old son started a cough that wouldn't stop. The clinic was already packed with gasping neighbors. That ash is thinner than hair. It slips right past masks to coat your throat and lungs. The well water burned their throats. For Idris, losing the herd meant losing everything. No herd means no food, no money, no survival for his family. Centuries of tradition vanished in one day. Now, they just wonder who survives the week. 12 tourists were trapped near the crater. It became a desperate race against the clock. Tedessi from the Red Cross led the charge. He set up command right on the danger line. Radios failed. GPS signals died in the static. They were flying blind through the debris. Headlights couldn't cut the haze. Every kilometer was a gamble with the unknown. A quick rescue turned into a 12-hour nightmare. Wind shifted. The volcano threatened to blow again. Engines choked on ash while tourists suffocated in a shelter. The air was running out. Aid trucks loaded with supplies left the city, but the ash stopped them cold. Bridges collapsed. Drivers crawled, making 5 kilometers a day, sometimes less. The last 20 kilometers took longer than the first 200. It was a logistical hell. Every delay left kids coughing in the dark. They saved the tourists, but the system failed the locals. For every person saved, dozens more were left waiting to die. This disaster wasn't a surprise. Satellites saw the ground swelling months ago. The Earth rose inches over vast distances. Magma was pushing up, ready to burst. Earthquake swarms hit the region. Rock fractured deep underground, signaling the end. Magnitude 6 quakes rattled the experts. They knew what was coming, but nobody warned the villages. Life went on while the data piled up. Scientists stared at screens and argued about risks, but nobody pulled the alarm. While they talked, the clock ran out. If you live near a danger zone, listen closely. The warning system failed us. It didn't see the monster coming until it was too late. Deep under Africa, a nightmare is churning. It is called the Super Plume, and it is waking up right now. 3 massive plates are ripping the earth apart. The ground is stretching paper thin. Liquid fire is rising from the core to hunt us. Magma has been pushing up for decades. It traveled 17 kilometers through cracked rock. It is searching for a way to break out. One expert calls this region a pressure cooker. It has been building steam for generations. Your family could be living on a ticking bomb. The crust is too weak to hold it back. Magma does not wait for a trigger here. It pools beneath the surface, ready to blow. The heat became impossible to contain. Then the Haley Gooby eruption finally hit. It was an explosion of pure, relentless force. Superheated rock smashed through the final barriers. This was not an accident. It was a calculated strike by nature itself. Experts are terrified for a clear reason. This was not a freak event. It is a warning that the ground is alive, and it is hungry for destruction. Scientists panicked and called emergency meetings instantly. They checked sensors all over the globe. The data looked like the start of a catastrophe. Remember Mount Pinatubo in 1991? It dumped 20 million tons of poison skyward. It froze the entire planet for 2 long years. Iceland's volcano in 2010 paralyzed the world. It grounded planes across Europe for days, but imagine being stranded while the sky turns black. This eruption shot a massive kill cloud upwards. Ash is floating in the atmosphere right now. It is high enough to hang there for months. We narrowly dodged a global freeze this time, but the toxic mix is still there. Climate models are screaming danger. The numbers did not break the forecast yet, but do not breathe easy. This is just the opening shot. Experts say the worst might be coming. A second blast could change the climate instantly. We are walking on a razor's edge. The atmosphere is at a tipping point. One wrong move and the weather flips. The only certainty is chaos. Satellites are tracking that toxic cloud today. It is drifting over major continents. It could be above your roof right now. The earth is literally splitting open beneath us. Silence is not safety, it is reloading. When it wakes up, you will not be ready. Nature does not care about your plans. Share this before it is too late. Comment your location. Are you safe?